Hello. My first time going live, so give me a second. I'm trying to figure out some of the settings. All right, I think we're good now. I hope you guys can hear me. All right, so mandatory immigration checks, unexpected dry docks, and last minute itinerary changes. Cruise travelers, this week has been pretty much a roller coaster. So, Princess Cruises sending one of its ships on an unscheduled dry dock after facing multiple issues. We're going to talk about what went wrong and how it's going to affect upcoming cruises. Next up, we're going to talk about Royal Caribbean, where an emergency diversion caused delays and forced a change in itinerary. We'll break down what happened and what it means for the next set of passengers. Then we're going to cover a surprising move. This one was kind of dumbfounded people. Well, I guess on one ship must go through face-to-face immigration checks even before reaching their destination. So, hello, I'm Eric with Cruising with Eric YouTube channel and the co-owner of Cruising Duo Travel. And I decided I wanted to start doing a weekly cruise news live stream, kind of fill you all in on what's going on in the cruise world these days, because it changes. I could probably do it daily, but I don't want to. So I figured doing a weekly live stream would still get all the information out, all the important stuff. So first up, Princess Cruise. So the Regal Princess, she's going to enter into an unscheduled dry dock in April of this year, the end of April. She's been having engine troubles for a while, and they finally decided to kind of bite the bullet and take her out of service for a little while. So the biggest impact is going to be for their 24-night Western Europe and British Isles Grand Adventure cruise. So that basically it's a repositioning, and it was supposed to end on April 28th, but because of this unscheduled dry dock, it's actually going to end on the 24th. So the passengers that are on board are going to miss stops in Kirkwall, Invergordon, and Edinburgh, Scotland, because they got to come in 4 days early, basically. So, and I'm sure anybody that's already booked on that ship has probably already been notified as to what's happening. They've got a couple of options. They can cancel the whole trip, receive a full refund, including their air if they book through Princess Easy Air. If you book separate air, you get a basically $200 reimbursement for each person for their air. Or you can stay booked, receive a 4-day prorated refund of the cruise fares and a 25% of the fare paid as a future cruise credit. So there are a couple of options. So basically what's going on is back in October, the ship started having engine issues. It caused lots of problems. They took her out of service and canceled 3 sailings back then. They thought they had it taken care of, or at least under control. So they are going to take her out of service. Next up, a Royal Caribbean. So the Vision of the Seas was doing a sailing, and they were on their way back to Baltimore, and they had a medical emergency on board. They ended up turning around the ship because they were basically couldn't do a helicopter rescue. So they had to turn around the ship, and they pulled into dock in San Juan, Puerto Rico, offloaded the passenger with the medical emergency, and got back on their way. Hopefully that person is okay. I have not gotten any updates on anything further. They did not release the name of the passenger that I saw, so which is fine. Kind of nobody else's business. But so then they dropped them off. They got back underway, but unfortunately, they lost so much time that they did not get back to Baltimore on schedule. They didn't actually get back until the next morning. So that pushed the departure date for the next sailing. So, they were supposed to depart on the next sailing on the 16th, yesterday, as of the time of this recording, but they ended up pushing it off till today. So they departed today. They did cancel the Charleston, South Carolina port call, trying to, arguably, excuse me, get back on schedule, which makes sense. So Anybody that is on board, um, they're giving onboard credit equal to 1 day cruise fare and 1 day worth of daily packages in the prepaid gratuities. Any portions of that onboard credit that the passengers don't use will be refunded at the end of the cruise, and obviously they're refunding any excursions that were pre-purchased for Charleston. Personally, I hate that. Um, I understand why they do it, but if my cruise is going to be delayed by a day or 2 days or anything like that, I want the money back in my account. I don't necessarily want the money in onboard credit. Not. I mean, I use onboard credit obviously if it's there, but I don't know. It's just me. I'd rather have it back in my account. So, but anyway, that's their policy, and those are the options. Next up, Norwegian. So, Norwegian Bliss it was due to arrive in Southampton, I believe today, and because of a new law in the UK having to do with immigration, um, that just went into effect. So I believe, arguably, this was the first cruise ship that is kind of coming in under these new rules. So the Norwegian Bliss, because of those new rules, immigrations officials were due to arrive on the ship yesterday during a sea day, and every passenger on board, whether they're U.S., UK, doesn't matter what passport they're flying, or not flying, but what passport they have, they actually have to go through an individual face-to-face immigration check with the UK immigration officials. I can only imagine how much of a nightmare this was. Think about it. They probably brought, what, I don't know, a dozen, if they're lucky, a dozen immigration officials on board, and there's 2,000 people on this ship. Now, they had it all set up. They let the customers, the passengers know they're going to do it by deck. They're going to call you down to the Manhattan restaurant. You're going to meet with the official, knock on wood, everything's fine, and you go back. Well, I get it. It's a new law. They're trying to figure out how they're going to implement it. This was a suggestion. Yeah, no. The facial recognition software that they use for immigration, it's there for a reason. Why not use it? But hey, I'm not a government official, so I'm just glad I wasn't on that ship. Let's put it that way, because I would have been. Yeah, it's my last day. See, the last thing I want to do is be standing in line for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours to talk to an immigration guy. But hopefully, this will all get smoothed out, and it'll they'll find a better way to do this. Now, on a happier note, Carnival Cruise Line has updated their 2025 party list, their fleet party list. In other words, what themes they're going to have on their various ships throughout the year, whether it be the 80s rock and roll, silent party, white party, all that kind of stuff. They updated that list. You can find it online on the Carnival website, I'm sure. They still have not released the schedule, the party schedule for their two newer ships, the Legend, the Legend and the Festa Italiano, I think. Basically, they had. Oh, I'm sorry, the Adventure and the Encounter, because they are Pinot Cruises ships that Carnival is rebranding and bringing into the Carnival fleet. So they're still trying to figure out that schedule. So personally, I'm not a big one for the white parties, the deck parties. Yeah, they're fun, but they're so I don't go out of my way to dress for them. So, but now I know there are a lot of people that absolutely love them. They're highlights of their cruises. So, if you've got a Carnival cruise booked this coming year or this year that we're currently in, make sure you check out their website, or the Carnival Hub app, for your sailing, to see when the parties are and what types of parties are, because a lot of people like to dress for them, and good for you. Hey, if that's something you enjoy, have at it. Now, this next story, this one kind of surprises me. It's pretty cool, but it's surprising. So, Virgin Voyages, in last year, they announced the 2025 annual pass, the year 2025. So basically, you buy this annual pass and you can sail any Virgin ship as many times as you want during the year for one flat price. It was popular, so they decided to do it again. Now, the 2026 annual pass, they're kind of upping the ante. So, the one major change between the different passes is this year's pass. Well, the 26 pass includes a stay on Necker Island. Necker Island is Sir Richard Branson's arguably private island. It's in the British Virgin Islands, and you get a 1 week stay there included in the cost of this. Now, if you wanted to just any random person book a stay on that ship, the cost is roughly $5,000 a night. So you're staying there for 6 nights, 7 nights. That's significant. So now the new price tag, they also increased the price for the 2026 annual pass. So $199,000 per person. And here's what you get. You can sail on any Virgin Voyages cruise in the year 2026, as many of them as you want. Obviously, you got to book them, and so there's got to be availability. But you could literally get on the Scarlet Lady and not get off of her for 9 months if you have that kind of lifestyle. So you get that. You get the 1 week stay at Necker Island. You get a $10,000 shopping spree. And your room when you book the room on board, you're getting Rockstar quarters. You're not staying in a regular balcony or interior. You're staying in a suite. So, okay, that's pretty cool. If the cruise that you're on happens to go to Bimini, you get a personal cabana included in the cost, and they do private they're private excursions. They call them shore things, shore, shore things. But you get private excursions just for the annual pass holders. So it's I'm curious to get some reviews from people to see if it's worth it, if it's something that you can use. I mean, you got to have the right kind of, you got to have 200 grand per person. But okay, so think about it. On average, a Rockstar suite is what? I think we're looking at 4 to 8 grand per cruise. So $5,000 divided by $200,000, that's what? 40 cruises to make it worthwhile. Now, Necker Island, okay, that's 35, 40 grand. $10,000 shopping spree, obviously that's 10 grand. So just still, you got to get on, in my opinion, to get your value from it, you need to do 20 cruises. Can you do 20 cruises in 2026? If you can, God bless you. Good for you. I'm jealous. And you know what? I'm guessing there are people that find it's worth it, because if the 2025 pass wasn't popular enough, they never would have brought back this one, or not brought back, but they never would have introduced this one. So that's about it for today. That's all the cruise news that you can use. And hope you enjoyed it. If you did, leave me a message, give me a thumbs up, and I'll be doing this pretty much every Friday, about 6 p.m. East Coast time.